it's your turn to
Oh, is it for me?
consider yourself fired.
Why are you winking at me?
Consider yourself fired.
Hello, and welcome to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT,
And I'm Drew.
and we're two nobodies talking about nothing.
Consider yourself fired. And I still hate you. Hey, welcome back to the show there, brother man.
Hey, man, what's going on with you now?
Oh, you know, same old, just earning and burning, cashing necks and breaking checks, as the kids would say.
Yeah, that's interesting way to put it.
Well, I guess it depends what kind of kid you are. I shouldn't be breaking necks.
You shouldn't
But,
be stealing checks either, but...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't be doing that either. I guess it's the not white in me. Anyway, I hear that we have a loaded show today.
Loaded. You are not lying.
It is very controversial,
Okay.
very hot topic-y,
Yes. Very hot.
and very timely. We've said numerous times that the world is going to hell in a handbasket right before us, and I'm sure they've been saying that for decades.
Yes.
But I feel like as we see everyday new developments, when you think, oh, it can't get any crazier than this, it gets crazier than this.
Yes, sir, it does. And it really shows you that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And it's so frustrating.
It is. I remember back when Target, I think it was Target, the store,
Right.
had come out and they had introduced their, I guess the best way to say it is like gender neutral bathrooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of people were in uproar about that because that wasn't a thing coming from the majority. That was an issue coming from a few people that, had an issue with it. And they were changing policy
Wait. Had an
for
issue
the minority.
Had an issue with the bathroom, or had an issue with changing the bathroom? Because there was a lot of people who had an issue changing the bathroom, but there was a little bit that wanted it changed.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The little bit that wanted it changed affected the policy and got it changed. So it was, listening to the minority over the majority.
Yes.
And it's a prime example of that squeaky wheel getting the grease.
Yeah. Well, I just had
We
to make...
see that more and more.
Yeah, I just needed to make sense in my ADD brain, so...
I'm sorry, did you say something? I was focused over there.
Don't make fun of me.
When did we get ice cream?
Yeah. That's how I am every day.
Yeah, I wish I had ice cream every day.
You're
I
not
look
lying.
like I have ice cream every day.
Yes, sir, you do. And I am not far behind you.
Whoa. Who said I was the one leading this train?
Listen, I'm not the one with the Tilly bar in my hand.
This is a podcast for a reason. Okay?
Is it because my mom said I got a face for radio?
Yes. All right, so moving right into our topic for today.
Yes, I am ready to get frustrated.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about drag queens and the Navy in particular. Now, I do what you want on your own time. I may not agree with your life choices. I don't have to. You may not agree with mine, and you don't have to. But when it comes to the military, there are certain rules, freedoms, rights, however you want to think of it, that you forfeit when you join.
Yes, 100%.
For example, going to like political rallies in uniform. It's prohibited. Not allowed to do it.
No.
You're not allowed to do a lot of things that would indicate that the military represents an opinion one way or the other.
Correct.
You have to stay neutral in uniform. So again, do what you want on your own time. However, the Navy came out with a program a while back. I want to say it was October of 22, maybe a little earlier.
Okay.
They were going to have basically the equivalent of brand ambassadors for an online forum that was supposed to help with recruitment goals and retention.
Okay.
So they would have different volunteers come on and basically be the face of the Navy to attract people, to recruit them. And one of the sailors that they got on there was a guy that was a drag queen. And it wasn't, hey, they selected this person, they were a phenomenal sailor, they're outstanding, and they didn't know this thing about them that they do on their personal time. They selected this person because of the drag queen.
Because of what that person does?
Yes. So this person had gone on, I don't know how many deployments, and I mean like out with ships and whatnot, out to sea, and put on drag shows for the sailors on board. And I don't know, again, if this was like a, hey, we're having a talent show, everybody come do whatever you do. Or if it was specifically set up, hey, tonight is drag night, or whatever the case is. I don't know the particulars there. But it's very interesting that they chose that to become the face of their online ambassadorship. You see what I did there?
You did. I do. I do see.
Yeah, so it's nuts. And Fox News put out a report, an article titled "Navy's Drag Queen Envoy Will Hurt Already Shrinking Recruitment GOP Senator Retired Army Officer." So their take on it is that drag queen ambassadors are not a solution to the recruitment crisis.
Right. Which, again, that seems like an opinionated statement, and I'm not for it. But I'm doing my best not to be against it. We'll go into that later. But they have a point in the article, which we'll get to.
Yeah, so Senator Cotton here, Tom Cotton, is a top Republican senator. He's also a retired Army officer. And supposedly he had warned the Pentagon that, hey, using a drag performer as the Navy's digital ambassador would potentially turn off future applicants, enlistees, recruits.
Yeah, they 100% it would. I'm trying to be neutral, but it's really flipping hard.
It is.
So he's 100% right. Not everybody in this country is for that. And when you put stuff like that out to the public, especially online, you're letting our enemies know how vulnerably weak we are.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree. That's a very fine line, like you said, trying to stay neutral, because then you could be perceived as, well, now you're attacking that community and you're equating them with weakness.
Okay.
So playing devil's advocate, what would be your rebuttal to that?
Well, my rebuttal to that would be, show me a drag queen that can load a weapon and shoot a target downrange while in drag. If it cannot be done, then you have no leg to stand on. And I'm not here to make you think the same way that I do. I'm giving my opinion on the issue, and when you see a man dressed like a woman, I don't know about you personally, but for me, I get embarrassed for that individual. If you are not on stage playing Shakespeare, then there's no reason for you to dress like that in public. Now, like you said in the beginning, what you do on your time, that's your business. I don't have to agree with it. What I do in my free time is no one else's business. You don't have to agree with it. That's fine. But it was drilled into my head, and I'm sure it was drilled into a lot of our audience's head, if you are a veteran, that you are the top 1% of America. You are America's number one. Not saying that we don't have issues. Every branch of the military's got their own issues. But you are the top 1%. You made it through basic training, and you are now representing the United States of America in whatever foreign country that you're in, or here in the lower 48.
Well, and to take a step back, what is the point of having a military? Like, what is their role, right?
To serve and protect.
Serve and protect. Warriors. You have that warrior ethos, and I'm not trying to play all, what's that term, like Bravo or macho?
Yeah, macho man.
I'm not trying to play the stereotype, but at the same time, it's supposed to be intimidating. It's supposed to be, you're warriors. You're there to kill the bad guy. You're there to stop the bad guy from killing the good guy.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we used to have entertainers, like USO travelers.
Yes.
They would come attached to the USO. Like when I was in the UAE, I got to meet Kid Rock. He came out with a couple other entertainers, and they put on a show one night. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And that's their job. Our job was not that. We're not paid to do that.
No.
And in this picture that I'm looking at on the Fox News article, there's a picture of the sailor, the drag queen sailor, in a Navy uniform, and I'm colorblind, but I assume red high heels. And
no, you got that right.
And their hat and the wig and makeup and everything else doing a drag show. Lip syncing to some song.
Yeah.
Again, using the uniform in a way that the uniform should not be used.
No. And the disrespect that is in this picture, like, I know different branches, we all mess with each other. That's the bond that we have, right?
Yeah.
And I see this picture and I think back to the men and women who were in World War II, who fought on the sea against the Japanese, against the Germans, against, the enemies that we had.
Yeah.
And you see those kids in the videos. I mean, because that's exactly what they were. They were kids in that video, but they were doing extraordinary things for the country. And then you get to 2023 or 2022, and you have this in the exact same uniform that those kids were wearing, protecting this country. That is a joke.
Yeah, well, and to use this as a, quote, brand ambassador. We're going to use this to recruit, to reach out to local youth, because we are so woke that this will grab their attention and they'll want to join. Because, look, this person's having fun. This person's doing what they're doing. They get to live their life, so you should come join us.
This person is an embarrassment to the Navy.
Yeah.
As a crusty NCO, former NCO of the United States Air Force, this individual is an embarrassment. And if I was ever in the Navy, I wouldn't tell people that out loud.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the Fox News article goes on to quote, young Americans join the military because they want to serve our nation, and they're patriotic, and they want to feel camaraderie, and they want excitement and adventure. They join to become warriors. They don't join to become social justice warriors. And that's what we have here.
Yeah, that is exactly what's
simple.
Here. This individual needs to be removed from duty, separated, general discharge. I'm sure as a I'm sure as a Navy personnel, he's probably a good person. But to do this and disrespect your branch in your country and to not be able to see why that's wrong, you need to be removed.
Well, and again, I get it. The Navy they ran this brand ambassador, I keep calling it brand ambassador, but this ambassador program, digital ambassador initiative, to reach people online through the internet, through the web, on the line. You've got mail.
Yes.
Because they're hurting so bad with recruiting.
Okay.
So they're trying, pulling their hair out, trying every last thing they can think of, right? How do we reach young people today? Young people are online. Let's try that. But again, where do you draw that line? Do you just, we'll do anything because we're desperate? Or, hey, you know what? No, we still have this standard.
Yes.
It's like that commercial that not long ago came out from the Army, the recruiting commercial, the cartoon. And it's like, hi, I'm Jane Doe, and I have 2 moms, and I grew up this way or whatever, and I love it, and I'm joining the Army, and yada, 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 yada. And then they played that next to the Russian one where they're all like badass and, hey, we're going to go kill somebody.
Yeah.
Because we're freaking warriors.
Yeah.
Imagine if the United States Marine Corps stopped there, the few, the proud, all these crazy recruiting commercials that they used to have where it was like, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And they put something like this out there. And it's like, oh, come to the disco with the Marines. You could have a lot of fun and, we'll do this or that. It just, I can't put it any other way. Then it's a joke.
It is a joke.
And very, very frustrating.
Yes. And I know generations before us were looking at us going, God, this country's going to be in shambles by the time these people come up of age and get into office
absolutely.
and all that. But there are still a few of us who still hold the, what do they call it, nuclear family?
Yeah, mom, dad, kids.
Yeah, who still hold that like as normal. I'm trying to get the words out, but I'm so frustrated at this. We still hold that to be the number one thing that this country needs. You don't need a divorce. You don't need, and I've got no grounds to stand on when it comes to that. But
it's what's the recipe for success?
Yeah,
statistically speaking, it is the nuclear family.
It is.
You see a lot more success rates come from that than you do single parent homes.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I never knew my dad. Okay, and you're doing X, Y, and Z. Not to say that there aren't success stories out there. Just statistically speaking, it is more so the other way.
Yeah. Well, what part of the science do you believe?
I believe in science.
Yes, I do.
So, kind of switching gears, but speaking more to the recruiting aspect of it now, there's a website called warontherocks.com, and they talk about how the number of Americans that are confident in the military has plummeted in the past few years.
Right.
And how American confidence is almost all major U.S. institutions has declined. And they're pulling that data from a Gallup poll, showing that it reached an all-time average low of 27% in 2022.
Okay.
So they have an approval rating of 27% for the military in 2022. Again, to whatever Gallup poll this is, right?
Okay.
Compared to the statistic that 64% of surveyed respondents expressed confidence in the military last year is a strong endorsement indeed. So in 2021, 64%, 2022, 27%. So it's declining quickly.
Yeah. Well.
And the Navy thinks the answer is...
going woke?
Yes.
No.
Didn't Bud Light, Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, didn't they just try something like that?
They sure did. And as of this recording, that media manager or whatever you want to call her no longer has a job.
Yeah, they've hired a new VP of marketing.
Yeah, VP of okay, yeah.
So in 2020, that figure we were just talking about was 72%. 2021, 69. 2022, 27.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like, oh, we went from 89 to 88 to 87. This is a pretty drastic drop in a short amount of time.
It really is, but let's put our heads together, right? Like, what do you think? Why do you think our numbers are dropping?
Oh, I think there's several factors at play.
Right. Okay. So give me two.
Okay. From own personal experience, day-to-day working with the military, active duty experience, reserve experience, all that. From the time that we joined till now, the environment has changed drastically. There used to be a lot more, at least for me, there used to be a lot more pride in service, and kind of like you alluded to in the beginning, we're number one in the world, and I'm doing this for my country and my family and my children, and fill in the blank. Just that I can look at the American flag and, man, I get my jollies knowing that I go to work for that.
Yeah.
And within the past couple years, working very closely with the active duty folks and seeing how woke these policies being implemented are and how they're affecting people, where I forgot who it was, one of the Trayvon Martin or George Floyd, somebody, one of those cases had happened, and then these commanders, squadron commanders, had to give briefings to their squadrons on social justice and the injustices that were happening, and white people bad, black people innocent. It just very, very woke talking points.
And it happened overnight.
Force feeding that.
Yes.
And then again, point two, COVID, where they forced that on everybody because they know what's best for everyone. And then there's the argument that, well, when you go to boot camp, you get a bunch of shots anyway. That's different.
That is different. It really is. And for someone to say, well, it's just another shot, and they've been working this for the past 10, 20 years for this vaccine, so what's the difference? Well, the difference is, and I'm chiming in and butting in, is there's no numbers on that. There's nothing on it. The fact that when it came out, it was, oh my goodness, this is a big thing, and we could lose a whole bunch of people, and then slowly trickling out was, hey, you do understand that the coronavirus itself, it's just the common cold. And then that's when people, from what I saw, were waking up going, wait, what? The common cold is the coronavirus. Now, this is just the 19th variant of that virus that's got a little bit more than just the regular common cold, but it is still the common cold virus.
Well, when you saw footage of Anthony Fauci going around talking to people from back in the day about the flu, and if you've already got the flu, you don't need to get your vaccine. You've already got the antibodies. You're not immune, but you're well off to do. Mm-hmm. The vaccine wouldn't do anything but just get you sick again.
Yeah.
Okay. And then push so freaking hard with COVID. You need to go get this. You have to get this, herd immunity, and you got to protect your neighbor, if not for yourself. What about your grandparents? Don't you love them? You better go get it. Thanksgiving, don't think about doing it with your family unless you're vaccinated. What?
Yeah. Oh, hey, and by the way, you can't go outside unless you wear a mask.
We saw that where people were deploying and they were being split up from their families.
Yes.
Pre-deployment.
Yes.
Where, hey, we're leaving in a week. If you're vaccinated, enjoy your week at home with your family before we head out the door. If you're not, you're going to have to quarantine. We're going to put you up in a hotel room. You can't see your family. You need to be isolated because we can't risk you getting sick pre-deployment. So get your vaccine, spend time with your family. Don't Sorry.
Yeah.
And all of that for several months later for the DOD to come back and go, oh, hey, sorry, just kidding.
Several months?
actually
That was like a year later.
Don't have to have this anymore. In fact, if we kicked you out because you didn't get it and you want to come back in, you can go ahead and re-enlist.
But we're not going to change your time, so you will have lost time and you'll have to make that up.
Yeah, you'll have lost time. You're not going to get back paid. We may or may not even reinstate you at the same grade that you were previously.
Right.
So you're SOL on that. But, hey, welcome back, buddy.
Yeah.
So for me, to make the long story even longer, those are a couple points for me that I think are hurting retention, are hurting recruitment. I think kids being locked up for a couple years at home, not going to school, not getting the social interaction, not being taught the same stuff. And I don't mean the woke stuff, but like sitting in my math class or sitting in my English class and learning from that instead of through a Zoom call. Not to say that everybody got stupider, but some people got stupider.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't have that classroom interaction, and you don't have the teacher right there with you to help you go over stuff, because there's a lot of people, including me, who does not learn through a camera or on a computer.
Yep.
So here's my one thing. I got one thing.
Yeah.
And if you followed the news from, I'm going to say 2020, right, until now, till present time, I think recruitment is down because this current regime that we're in seems to want to pick fights with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, they did mention previously, the previous regime, they were all scared and threatened that President Trump was going to start World War III. It was inevitable. But I think we're seeing that a lot more from the current guy.
Yeah, and I think that's hurting our numbers because people don't want a war. We saw how we got out of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
It's been a joke the whole time, and unfortunately, the military is in the spotlight. So yeah, people are looking at, that's how you pulled out of that place because you just tuck tail and run. Oh, welcome back to Vietnam.
Well, and who pays the price for that? The military.
Yeah.
We lost 13 service members when they pulled out.
Yeah.
Because they did it hastily. And again, do you just want to, hey, I'll go be the 13th guy, or I'll be the 14th guy at the next place? No. Look at what we're doing right now with Ukraine and Russia. Yeah. We're not involved in that war. It's not our war. We're just going to fund it. We're going to send some guys over there to only to train people. They're not going to be involved in any conflict. But yeah. Oh, Taiwan, China? Yeah, we'll Taiwan, we will support you if anything happens. China, we believe in the one China policy, and Taiwan, we don't recognize them as anything.
No, we sure don't.
But like you said, this is a lot of doublespeak that sounds like fighting words.
Exactly. Yeah, it sounds like the current president's asking these world leaders to meet him behind the shed.
Yeah, come on, Jack. You want to have a push-up contest?
Yeah. So
the Navy, according to the Navy Times, reported in September of 2022 that, hey, we met our active duty enlisted goals for fiscal year 2022. Great. However, in order to do that, they drained their DEP program, their delayed entry program.
Okay.
So for those that don't know what that is, when a person goes to enlist, they go talk to their recruiter, they get put into the delayed entry program. It's kind of like a waiting pool.
Yep.
And then you get your ship date for some time in the future. Usually during that time, you're picking your job, you're taking your ASVAB, your whatever requirements you're doing in the meantime.
Yeah.
But they have that pool of recruits or potential recruits so that they can send them at certain times to meet their goals.
Meet their goals and make sure that when you come in, you are more likely to stay in because you've got the job you wanted.
Right. So in this case, they met their goals in September or for fiscal year 2022, but they had to kind of deplete those resources from the DEP. So, okay, hey, all of a sudden we're going to be sending a lot of you to boot camp now so that we can meet these goals. So people were shipping out sooner. Now, fiscal year 23 starts, and it's like, oh, crap. Well, we're falling behind on our numbers because we don't have that pool of people to pull from anymore.
Right.
The Navy's also done a few other initiatives to help retain and recruit. They've upped their high-year tenure. For those that don't know, that's your basically your. It's not an age limit.
So it's a
But it's
mandatory get out based off your rank.
Yes, so you can be a certain pay grade for a certain amount of time. Once you hit that threshold, if you haven't promoted by that point, adios muchachos.
Yeah.
And it's not anything like, oh, hey, I didn't promote 2 years from now, I'm out. It's very generous time. You could be in the same rank for 8-9 years sometimes, and then, okay, hey, you haven't promoted, like you're kind of flatlined, plateaued. Time for you to go do something else.
Yeah.
So they've upped their higher tenure by 2 years. So now people can stay in a little bit longer if they so choose. They've also upped their enlistment age. Before it was you cannot enlist any older than 39. Now it's 41.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going through basic?
I couldn't, not personally. Shoot, I couldn't imagine going at however old I am now.
That's what I was just about to say when you rudely interrupted me. But yeah, like right now, could you imagine going through basic? Now, don't get me wrong. The workout program that they have, I would love to go back. But with all the issues that I have, there's no way. I think day 2 be in a wheelchair.
You'd graduate and I'd be like, where'd JT go?
Yeah, and as they're marching across the field, here's me in the background. Don't you leave me behind, you sons of bitches. You know, like.
I'd be there pushing you.
Because you needed something to hold the walk?
Yeah, and while you're huffing and puffing, or while I'm huffing and puffing thinking it's you, I'll be like, shut up. You're talking, you can breathe.
Yeah, right. And just fall feet.
So here's the kicker.
Okay,
in my opinion, from the Navy Times. So one of the kickers for their recruiting stuff, they lowered the ASVAB. That's the Armed Forces Vocational Aptitude Battery. So it's basically a really dumbed down version of like a aptitude test or SAT, if you will.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So they test your different competencies, like, oh, what do you know in administrative stuff, or how are you with mechanical things or electrical stuff?
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Different categories. So you get different scores on each category, but then you get an overall score. And if I'm not mistaken, the overall score used to be like, you had to score at least a 36 out of 100.
Yeah, when I came through, it was 32, because I had just.
And that's interesting, because you came through before me.
I did. Yeah, well, well, when did you take the ASVAB?
Oh, yeah. I took the ASVAB sometime in 2005, and then I took it again in 06.
Okay.
No.
It's every 2 years.
07.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took it in 06.
But when I came in, the threshold, you had to score a 50 or higher to join the Air Force.
The overall?
Yes.
Holy mackerel.
The overall had to be a 50 or higher. They weren't hurting for people.
Yeah. Well, they already had me, so.
Oh, and you're like 2 people, so.
Right now I'm 8.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're talking about my weight. How dare you?
How dare you?
It's taken me a while to get these jokes. You have been pushing them all day, and it's like 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and I'm like, I just got it. Dang it.
I I just need to get better material.
Yeah. You need a better
So-
delivery.
Yes, I do. So the Navy's lowered their ASVAB scores. So what that means is if you score between the 10th and 30th percentile, you could be eligible to still join. So now you still need to have qualifying line scores. So like, hey, I want to go be an admin person. I still have to meet the admin score cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
But my overall score, I just need to be in the 10th or 30th percentile. So they're lowering it to try to reach a bigger audience, right?
To
Because
broaden
before,
their audience.
oh, sorry, you didn't pass, you're disqualified.
Better
Good
luck in 2
working
years.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so reading that, I'm like, oh my goodness. And it's not just the Navy, but right now we're focusing on just the Navy.
Right.
But I
sure.
heard, oh, go ahead.
I'm sure there other branches are doing this. I think my personal opinion, I think the Army would probably be the lowest. No offense to those guys. Because Marines, you need to have like a certain mindset, and they need to train you to cow. Every Marine is a Marine first, and then their job second. But the Army probably doesn't need much. I don't know how the heck I got into the Air Force, but I did, and I think that would be like top notch.
It was your looks.
It had to be. Well, I mean, they left the back door open. That's what I kept telling everybody.
There's this bus going. Golden Corral?
Yeah.
Yeah, hop on, kid. Okay.
No, it would have been Luby's. Luby's would have got me.
Yeah,
This bus is going
Luby's.
to Luby's.
Get me a little sirloin and some chalky milk and Jello. Done.
Nope. Hang it up, man. I was all about the chicken.
Oh yeah,
It was juicy.
I could see that.
Yeah. All right. So getting back into the frustration. So I'm sure other branches are doing it first. Like you said, we're focusing on the Navy because the Navy's the only one that's got the drag queen right now.
Well, the only one with that drag queen ambassador deal.
Yeah. I don't think that's the best recruiting option ever. And if that was ever brought to me, I mean, it's a good reason I'm not. There is a reason that I'm not in charge of this outfit. And it's probably to have people not cry because I wouldn't know how to handle it. But
Yeah.
if that were ever to have come across my desk, it would have gotten filed in my filing cabinet, aka the shredder, and we would have moved on. But I would have pushed more towards pride of country. Show me the SEALs, right? Like, who in their right mind doesn't want to be a Navy SEAL, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, that is top of the top. You know, hey, yeah, join the Navy or whatever. But we also have this avenue too. You know, show me the badassery of your branch. And that's what used to recruit us. What stopped at that? Why did that stop working? Well, now we've got to figure out mindset of the people.
Well, we can't even define what a man and woman are.
Oh, I can. Do you want to know my definition?
Go for it.
A man is an individual, because you can't use the name, right? An individual who takes care of his family, takes care of his priorities, and puts family first, is a man, right? I'm not talking about a boy. I'm talking about a man.
That sounds like a non-birthing person to me.
Yes, who also has male genitalia. A woman is a person who births children, right? Who creates a house into a home, who keeps the family together, and who backhands the man every now and again to keep him straight.
Yeah, but a man can also birth children.
No, they can't.
A trans man?
Not if you believe in science.
Are you saying that a trans man isn't a man?
I am.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know that would have gotten your jollies off.
Hell yeah, brother.
I don't
but
believe
you're absolutely right.
I don't believe it. Oh, I was born a woman, but now I'm a man.
Well,
What?
taking it back just a couple steps.
Why do you keep dragging me back? You got to push me forward.
COVID, trust the science, trust the science, trust the science. Comes to gender, well,
Do what
there's
you
really
want.
no true definition. I mean, there could be 1,000 genders. There could be 1,000,000.2. There could be infinity. There could be pi. I like strawberry pie.
Oh, you nasty guy. Give me chocolate.
Oh, I can't do the chocolate pie. I could do chocolate pudding, which is like a chocolate pie, just pudding with crust, I guess.
What about like a dirt cup?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, Tony Roma's?
With some
Anybody?
gummy worms. Gender.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will argue that, well, no. There's two sexes, but gender is very different. Gender and sex are not the same.
Did you hear my response? Are we going to make
I
this
think you just
awkward?
matched mine. Yeah. Stare into my eyes. It's ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, last article, New York Post. Okay.
Ooh.
Came out with Mr. O'Neill, individual who was a Navy SEAL, who came out and he was part of the team who took down Bin Laden, right?
Okay. SEAL Team 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The good SEAL team, 1 through 5 didn't have a chance. I'm just kidding.
Right.
No, those guys. I'm sure those guys are great too. Hey, put me up against any one of those SEAL teams. Could be SEAL Team 13 or MEAL Team 6. Again, in
I was about to say.
in a paintball skirmish, and they destroy me every time. I would
we
probably
would come out on top in MEAL Team 6.
Hey. I don't know, man. Have you seen that guy? Fucking cheeseburgers.
And he ain't eating no Whataburger and French fries. He's eating the real deal.
Yeah, he sure is. In fact, I said that to the little one this evening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said, eat your French fries. I'm going to call you a wambulance. I don't, it just came to me. I don't know.
So SEAL Team 6, O'Neill.
Yes, O'Neill came out. He had some words about this. Obviously, the Navy, that's his branch, okay?
Yeah.
He's got pride in his branch, rightly so.
Absolutely.
New York Post said a comment, and their whole article, right? Their whole article was like pretty much his little tweet that he came out with. And his tweet said, all right, U.S. Navy is now using an enlisted sailor drag queen as a recruiter. I'm done. China's going to destroy us. You got this, Navy. I can't believe I fought for this bullshit. Rightfully so. He's got an opinion. He's no longer in the Navy. I agree with everything that he said there. Okay?
Yeah, you can really feel the frustration.
You can. That's his branch. He grew up there. He loves the Navy. He loves being a SEAL. Obviously, the dude wrote 2 books after he got out in 2014. And he is rightfully passionate about it. This bullshit that came out on the New York Post, and it's just one little line, and it got me. I mean, it really got me. It says, and I quote, O'Neill, comma, who was self-credited with delivering the fatal blow to bin Laden during the May 2nd, 2011 raid. End quote. I'm end quoting it there. There's more to it. First of all, New York Post, obviously I don't have any financial leg to stand on, but how dare you? How dare you say who was self-credited? There is
Yeah.
body cam footage of him doing what he did. He has to live with what he did for the rest of his life. He's not self-credited. He is credited for doing this. And that whole team, amazing job. Like, when we got the news while in uniform, when we heard that news, every branch was so excited for the Navy SEALs.
Oh, yeah.
And proud to be an American.
Yep.
Don't sit here and bash on, I don't know this guy from Adam, but he is my uniform brother. Don't sit here and bash him like this. That I took offense to that.
Yeah, reading it's like they're trying to take a jab at him. They're trying to decredit him. Oh yeah, he's a pissed off sailor. But this is just some guy who's, supposedly did this
Yeah.
enormous task.
Yeah.
Well, he did do it, so...
Yeah.
And in that post, it says that his comments were met with a mixture of reactions, some siding with him, others labeled him a hypocrite.
Everybody's going to have their opinions.
Yep. And there's quite a few. Like you had said earlier, someone was saying that this is beyond disturbing. Some are saying that they're ashamed of the Navy.
Yeah.
It's an insult to every veteran. One guy even put on here, he's ashamed on behalf of the Navy and hopes that it goes over as well as Bud Light did. And then the others,
right,
are attributing it to the drag queen stuff to the core values of the Department of the Navy: honor, courage, and commitment. Okay.
Okay.
Another says,
how?
Well, because they are brave for doing this.
For dressing like a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another one says, we have an epidemic of gun violence in this country. Thousands of innocent victims. Yet this bothers you?
Yes,
Grow up.
It does bother me. No, we do not have an epidemic of gun violence. We have a problem with nut jobs.
Yeah, we do. We have a mental health crisis. And to go back to discrediting O'Neill in his service, someone said, local man angry he fought for freedom of expression. How does that get you?
Local man, he fought for freedom of expression.
Local man angry he fought for freedom of expression.
Who fought for freedom of expression?
O'Neill. So basically what they are saying there is, as a military member, he's fighting for freedom of expression. He's fighting for, our Constitution, and he's mad about it.
He's fighting for the civilians to have freedom of expression. You put the uniform on, there's no freedom of expression. You are giving your rights up to
you
protect
put the
your
uniform
family.
on, essentially you are a dog, and your owner is putting the leash on you. Now, I will repeat myself, and I will explain what I mean, because I'm not calling service members dogs or slaves who have masters. Okay? Let's not get my words mixed up here.
Okay, well, this is getting interesting.
My point is, you're giving up a lot of your personal freedoms. You are tied by your handlers. I remember we had a rule where you couldn't even travel on the weekend, right? This is your free time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not working, you have the weekends off if you have that kind of job in the military. If you were below a certain age, you couldn't even travel outside of the local area, meaning, hey, my base is here and I want to go see family that lives 2 hours away. Be a normal drive. It's not a whole day. It's not anything crazy. Or I want to go to the next town over that has a shopping mall that I really like. You had to fill out paperwork. You had to have a map a plan so that they could see, okay, you're going to take this route. Cool. You had to, in that paperwork that you filled out, include your, I think it was your driver's license number, your license plates, the make, model, color of your car, everything. Basically, so if you ended up in a ditch, they would know, oh, okay, well, he or she was planning on going here, so that's probably them. You don't have to do that as a civilian.
Well, you forgot the biggest part of that. You had to call or message in some way to your supervisor when you were leaving and when you returned.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're on a very tight leash.
Yeah.
And even outside of that, if that was not everybody's same experience, most, at least Air Force, most bases, units, what have you, will have a local area defined, right? So there you are on the map. There's a radius around you, whatever that local area looks like. It's 2 hours, it's 8 hours, it's 24 hours, whatever. You have to be reachable and be able to report back to your unit in whatever that amount of time is.
Yeah. I know for us, for the longest time, it was 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because if you were on a certain special team, you had to be able to get back and send up a report within 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't be anywhere outside of a 1 hour radius or a 2 hour radius, depending on your unit and the base and the location and all that.
Yep. And a lot of times people forget, people that aren't in it, or maybe the younger ones that are, that haven't gained that experience yet, they forget that, hey, this is a contracted position, but I'm swore into it. Like, this is a 24/7 gig. It's not okay, my job is, I'm a finance person, right? So I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or 8 to 4, or 7 to 3. And that's it. My uniform comes off Friday night. I'm a free person until Monday morning. Nope.
No.
They need to call you in Saturday, you're working Saturday. They need to call you in Sunday, you're working Sunday. Oh, hey, by the way, our hours changed. Now we're working 12s. You're working 12s. We're working 15s, 16s, whatever the case is. You give up a lot of those civil liberties. You don't fall under the same labor laws that regular civilians do. You give up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't be doing that in uniform. Maybe I disagree, or shoot, even they're having a local, We Love America rally in your town, and we're inviting all these people to come out and chant USA and just, maybe your politician of choice is going to be there and you want to go out and support. Cool. Don't do it in uniform.
No.
You get in big trouble.
Yeah, especially if you are seen, and definitely if you're caught on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But times change. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
especially after reading the reg about nails and earrings and...
fingernail polish. And,
yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah, beards.
Jerks.
So, but again, all this could be changing, and our little rant could just be, right back in my day, and get off my property,
Yeah. Moral of the story, I don't agree with. I understand that all the branches are hurting and recruitment goals and, times are uneasy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do business, and I think they're doing it the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree. Well, folks, thanks for stopping by, listening to our little rant.
Yes, thank you. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you send us your opinions. What are your thoughts on the subject?
Yeah, hey, just because we don't agree with it doesn't mean that we won't sit here and listen to your wrong opinion.
Yeah, not everybody can be as right as us.
That's right.
No, but seriously, please, if you have an opinion, if you have maybe a solution, or an idea that, hey, why don't they do this? Or have they recruited that way? Or I've seen this work in the past. Whatever. Drop us a line. Like, subscribe.
Comment.
Whatever. Yes, comment. Check out the... Yep.
Mm-hmm. It'll be at the end of the show.
Is it for me?
Are we recording? All right, brother man. I will catch you later.
All right, brother. Catch you on the flip-flop.
All right. Bye. Bye. As always, we'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
jtandrewshow@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JTDrewShow.